let's pretend that we just listened to the intro, and we'll kind of go from there. All right. Okay. Right. Hook 'em. Get him in there with our stupidity first, and then hit the play button. All right. Well, here's the tone. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I've been recording.
Oh,
I
we're recording.
recorded. Did you not record that entire
I
thing?
didn't record any of that.
Are you kidding me? Come
No,
on, Mike. That
I'm
was gold.
sorry. I'm sorry.
Well, they're just gonna hear my version of that, and not yours. And yours is better than mine.
I didn't need
All right,
to be there.
No, we're done.
Long
Let's get
story
into this.
short,
Hello, and welcome to the Henry Lovers Podcast. Now introducing your hosts for this hour. Please welcome Mr. Brandon Law and Mr. Michael Collier.
we're gonna hook you really in, audience.
Yeah, that's right.
Welcome
All
to
right.
the Henry Lovers Podcast. I'm Mike.
That is right. I am Brandon. It is a pleasure to have you back again. Whether you were here last time or not, or whether nobody's listening at all, who cares? Because we're here, and that's all that matters, right?
Episode 2. You ready?
Episode two. I'm stoked. All right. So, I have a little PSA actually, real quick.
PSA?
Before we get into this. So, obviously, you were talking to Brittany before we really started this thing.
Yeah.
Brittany being my
Brittany's
girlfriend.
very nice.
For those of you who don't know. Yeah, she's pretty cool. She's a little bit too sweet sometimes. I'm just kidding. That's not possible. But anyway, so here's the thing. I was at Ingles, okay? And
Ingles?
for people that don't know, obviously, Mike, you don't know, is essentially it's a grocery store, okay? It's like Piggly Wiggly for those of you that are kind of more deeper south. Buy low, Price Chopper, Tops. Yeah, it's one of those things.
Not
It's a grocery
Wegmans,
store.
though. Just Price Chopper.
It's probably, I don't know, it's a little bit higher end.
Okay, so maybe
do
Wegmans?
you guys, probably Wegmans, actually,
Oh,
yeah.
nice. Okay, so
Um,
we're talking.
I mean, it's a little bit, okay, so do you know what a Publix is?
I'm aware of a Publix. I've never been
Okay.
to a Publix.
Well,
I've been to Whole
Publix-
Foods.
Publix is kind of like a cross between like a Whole Foods and a Wegmans, and then Ingles is essentially like the step down below a Wegmans.
Okay.
So, yeah, anyway, it's a pretty decent place. Yeah.
So on
Anyway.
the scale of Resident Evil games, Ingles is like Resident Evil 4? Or is it like
No,
Resident
no,
Evil
no.
2?
I'd say it's probably Resident Evil 2, because
Okay.
like, in my opinion, Resident Evil 4 was probably one of the best ones.
I agree.
So that would mean like Publix and Wegmans would be Resident Evil 4.
Gotcha.
Then we would have like Ingles and Winn-Dixie, I believe is what it's called. Some of them, by the way, not
Man,
all
all
of them.
these southern names. Is just,
Yeah, it's
I
a
can't
little
handle
funny.
it.
Well, they would be considered like probably Resident Evil 3, and
Okay.
then like Walmart would be Resident Evil 6. It just blew all kinds
Garbage.
of deep.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyway, getting back into it. I was in the checkout line, right? And I'm getting a bottle of wine for Brittany, and I'm getting, a 6-pack of weird fancy beers, which the first
So you got
one turned
wine
out
at the
to be
grocery
terrible.
store.
Yeah. Can you
Something
not
I'd
do
like
that
to
in
see
New
in
York?
Norwich. And in New York, I guess I should say.
I wonder if that's like a state law thing,
It
which is
is.
weird because you can't get
Yeah,
wine
yeah.
in a grocery
Down
store?
in Pennsylvania, we had, you gotta go buy beer at the liquor store.
Really?
I went down to hang out with my friends in Scranton. Yeah, and we were like, oh, let's go pick up some beer. And I was like, we drive to this freaking shady liquor store in the wrong part of town, and that's where you had to buy your booze. Like, you had to buy your beer there, wine. They sold everything there. So that was just kind
That's
of weird.
really weird. That's strange, especially because I'm in the Bible Belt. So like, you literally can't buy alcohol past 7:00, you can't buy liquor past 7:00 at all. Period.
Yeah.
And you can't buy any alcohol at all. Even like the little mixed things that have like the prepackaged alcohol stuff in it, you can't buy those on Sunday. Okay. Anyway, totally off topic. So, woman in Ingles. Okay, she has 2 kids, and I mean, they look a little like it's 2 women and 2 children. Okay. So
Uh-oh.
first of all, these are like maybe like an 8-year-old and a 6-year-old in one of
Are
those
they
little
huge?
like. No, they're not. They're not really that big. but like they're using the parenting tactic of ignoring your child and then yelling at
Nice.
them when they're very loud and trying to get your attention.
You know what'll fix that?
Oh my god. See, here's the thing. Like, it's not only just like maybe my mom used to like cuff the crap out of me.
Oh yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, if I was like messing around and she'd like be like, Brandon, knock it off. And then I'd keep doing it, she'd right on the back of
Yeah.
it.
Oh, well, then you stop.
So, but that's not what annoys me about it. Like, ignoring your child is not a parenting tactic. I'm sorry, it's not. Like, yeah, you could like kind of like brush it off for a second, but if they get louder, that's whenever you have to like look at them and be like, listen, child, I know that you're this many years old and you probably don't understand human logic yet, but you need to chill because I asked you to. And then you like threaten them with something.
Yeah.
Like that works wonders for Lainey, by the way. Like if you say that you're gonna ground her from her tablet or something like that, she stops immediately.
Well, it's because
and
you
then
have
if
to
she-
back it up. You can't just
Well-
make these idle threats and then, you know.
Exactly, and that's the other thing too. Like Brittany and I actually, the other day she was just going off, and she gave Brittany so much attitude that I ended up like looking back at her because Brittany was driving, and I was like, "You need to chill." And she kind of gives me this look, and I was like, "Okay, here's the thing. You are now officially grounded for 2 days. Like I extended that. She was originally,
Oh.
yeah, she was originally grounded for like 1 day." And then, like, because she was giving her mom all this attitude, and then she started, like, giving me attitude. And I was like, no, we're not playing this game. And then she starts crying, and I was like, here's the thing, okay? I know that you're 5 years old, and you're not really going to understand this yet. But when we ask you to not give us attitude, if you don't give us attitude, you won't get grounded.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
And,
they don't. Their brains aren't developed. And,
Oh, I know, but I mean, it's just really funny how that kind of works, though. Like, hey, I'm gonna take this away from you. The
Oh.
cutest thing though is Lainey's favorite line is, "Give me one more chance." Can I have just one more chance? Just give me one more chance. And it's like you had 6 chances and you screwed all of them up. I'm sorry, that's not how that
Yeah.
works.
one thing though, I think you can ignore your kids at home though.
Well, and that's the thing.
At,
Like,
at the grocery store in line, and you're annoying everyone there. No, not the time. But if you get home,
Yeah.
they're just like being a total brat, and just just for no reason. It's perfectly fine.
right? No, absolutely. Well, and I totally agree with that because again, like, I'm not saying that Brittany and I are essentially ignoring our child right now, but like, you know, when Lainey is like screaming and carrying out, like actually earlier today we were cooking dinner. We were making spaghetti, so obviously we can eat dinner. And Lainey is screaming from the couch, I need help, because she's playing like Lego Avengers or something like that. And
No, you don't.
Well, and that's exactly the thing. It's like, you wanted to play the game, then you need to play the game. Like, we are trying to make you dinner, so chill out. And then she kept screaming and yelling, so finally we're just like, forget it. And then she shut up.
Yeah,
So, like,
there you go.
exactly. It's fine to do that at home, but, like, exactly like you said, like, if they're out in public and they're ramming around and acting crazy and you just ignore them, and then they, like, literally what happened was they took the cart and were, like, running it around.
Nice.
And they rammed into a claw machine, and then their mom looked up and was like, "You're gonna break the glass! Knock it the fuck off!" And then I'm like, "Wow, like slow clap for you, parent of the year over here." And of course, the kids start bawling because
Well, you
their mom
can't
just
hit them.
yelled at them.
You can't smack the kids because then somebody will, call Child Protective Services, and then
Well,
you're
and
in
I-
trouble.
I
You
understand
can't.
that,
Ah.
but there's 2 of you, okay? You do not need 2 adults to go to the checkout. So if your children are acting asinine, to one of you take them and go to the fucking car.
Yeah.
And sit in there. You know what I mean? Because you can smack them in your car because it's your property. Just make sure the windows are tinted, all right? Just, bah, knock it off.
That's right.
Anyway, so that's-
you know.
The moral of the story is ignoring your child in public is not parenting. And I'm not saying you need to beat your child, but you need to at least learn how to deal with them while they're in public, or don't bring them in public.
Ah. Good logic.
That's what I'm saying. But anyway, so I think maybe we should get into this, yeah?
Yeah.
So where do we want to start at?
I want to get into something that was occurring last week that
Last week.
I really wanted to talk about, and that is Mr. Bruce, aka Caitlyn Jenner, posing
Technically, it's a
nude
missus
for
now.
Sports Illustrated.
Wait, really?
Yeah. Who wants to see it?
Now, okay, here's the thing. I don't know if I would necessarily want to see that because like Bruce, look, to each their own and everything. And you know my side on that. But here's the thing: there are actual models, okay, on both spectrums, like male to female, female to male, that have been that way most of their lives. You know what I mean? They've transitioned. They've taken, you know, the steroids and the hormones and all that stuff to literally look like a woman. I've seen transgender men and women that look more like men and women, like that were born a man or a woman, like more gorgeous women or whatever than other actual guys do. I don't know if that makes any sense, but it makes sense in my brain. But basically, yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry. We can totally hear your take on that, but I don't know if I would want to see.
No, I don't even know.
No.
Like, I mean, I guess obviously it's because he's celebrity and transgender. We want to be champion of that, but it's like he hasn't been relevant in sports in like probably at least 30 years.
Yeah.
And now because of that, they're just gonna stick him on the cover with his gold medal, and that makes it sportsy. Like I don't know. I don't think it needs to happen. I
don't think it necessarily does either. I understand where it's coming from because, I mean, realistically, the whole transgender thing is obviously a huge hot button topic. You know what I mean? That's something that people have been going on and on and on about for months now. But you're exactly right. Like, not only is Bruce Jenner not relevant, period, or Caitlyn Jenner or whatever, like, she is relevant in the sense that she is newly transgender, and transgender is a hot topic. But again, there are so many other, and not to sound rude, but like more attractive transgender people that are probably affiliated with sports. In fact, I know for a fact that there's a transgender UFC fighter. You know what I mean? You can't tell me that he or she, I don't remember exactly which side she fights for, or he fights for. But anyway.
How is that even fair? Like,
and that's... I thought about that too, actually. Like, again, you know that I don't necessarily care. Like, it's your life. You live it however the hell you want to. If you want to chop your nuts off or invert your vagina, do it. I don't care. It's not about me. It's about you, because I live over here and you live over there with your life. We could be friends if you want to be friends. Otherwise, I don't care, because I have my life to live and you have your life to live. But anyway, like, I did think about that, though, when I thought about that, because I was like, okay, so basically... I think I saw a meme about it too. You know the State Farm commercial or whatever, and it's like, she sounds hideous.
Yeah.
Well, she's a dude.
Yeah.
Like, they took that segment of it, well, she's a dude, and then it was like, X, whatever the person's name is, transgender fighter wins women's, I think that's what it is. It was like women's belt or something like that. And then the meme below it was like, yeah, well, she's the dude. And again, I'm all about like equality and stuff like that too, but I'm sorry, when it comes to physical strength, you literally have to be born to be as strong as a man. You know what I mean? Like, men and women, there are varying strength ranges, but typically speaking, men are stronger than women. Now, there are, again, variations. Like me, for instance, I'm sure that there's probably a woman that's stronger than I am, because I'm like 5'6" on a good day, and like when my posture is perfect and whatever. And I mean, I'm pretty decently strong for my size, but again, like, I'm a little dude. There's women that are definitely taller and like bulkier than I am.
Oh, yeah. It is what it is.
Yeah.
I got an idea though to make some money.
What's that?
We'll go around and we'll. I mean, somehow we have to con somebody into chopping off their junk.
Oh God. Okay.
But what we're gonna do is we'll go to some place, and we'll go get some third world country. We'll get some 7-foot tall guy, right?
Yeah.
And we'll chop off his junk and make him wear some makeup. We'll get him a wig.
Okay.
Or he could be really like progressive or whatever, like shaved head female man beast. That's like 7'2", and then we'll make a big stink. And when the WNBA says no, they're like, you can't play. Be like, nuh-uh, women. Look at the downstairs mix-up. And then we'll be the agents, you and me. We'll represent Man Beast.
Man Beast. That's great.
$1 million idea right there.
That's not how it works, but okay.
That's how it works.
It's $1 million.
I'm telling you, that's how it works. We're going to Africa.
Okay, you want to make this streamlined though. All right. So here's what we do. We have to find somebody who's addicted to drugs. Let's just offend everybody. Let's
Somebody
throw this
addicted
out
to
there.
drugs.
You find somebody. Listen.
Why do we
this
need
is
a drug
why.
addict?
This is why. Because you can sell a testicle for like 20 grand or something
Oh,
like
yeah.
that. You can donate a testicle for like $20,000. So you tell this guy, hey, we'll give you $30,000 to donate both of your testicles. He's on drugs and a drug addict, so he's like, damn, that's a lot of crack.
You don't care.
So, exactly. So you chop them off, you throw them away, donate them, whatever. Nobody wants crackheads. They just throw them away. And then you're like, all right, you're a
Make
woman
some Rocky
now.
Mountain oysters. That's what
Exactly.
we do with them.
We, oh god, we have to put him on hormones though, so the transformation will become
Yeah,
complete.
estrogen.
Because if you remember, I know that you're a bit of a history buff, but there was a all boys choir in France, if I'm not mistaken, hundreds of years ago that castrated all
Eunuchs,
of their
yeah.
yeah, exactly. And they actually had the highest suicide rate because what happens is when you chop their testicles off, they stop producing testosterone, and literally their body doesn't know what the hell to do because it's not producing hormones. So they end up becoming suicidal and killing themselves. So
Yeah. Cool.
if we're going to hold on to this cash cow, we need to feed him estrogen. So that way the transformation actually becomes complete and whatever else. So we continually feed this person crack
Even better
and
idea.
drugs.
Even better idea.
All right,
We'll get
I'm
all the
listening.
drug addicts, right? We'll get all the
Yeah.
drug addicts. Like, not all of them. We'll have tryouts. Like,
The tryouts?
yeah, for the drug addict team.
Just
And
the
then we'll get them
ones
to
that
sell
are
their nuts.
moderately attractive.
Yeah. And, and then we'll make our own team. We'll get an arena. We'll do it all. We'll cut out the middle guy. We're not going to be agents anymore. We're going to be owners. We're going
Owners,
to own
okay.
the drug addicts.
Okay,
The drug
Jesus.
addict eunuchs. And we'll have to come up with a catchy team name.
That's a catchy name for me. I'm sorry, but the druggy eunuchs.
The druggy
Like,
eunuchs. Yeah.
Now entering the field or whatever. The druggy eunuchs.
Yeah, we'll be the owners. We'll be sitting there with our fat stacks, and these guys will be making next to nothing. It'll be great.
Listen, we could literally pay them in crack rocks. Like, here's one rock for you. Here's one rock for you.
We'll have to get somebody. We'll have to get people to piss for them though. 'Cause I'm failing drug tests. So we'll do that. We'll be fine.
It's just we will also endorse like Gatorade or something like that, and so that way they sponsor us and they'll just give us free Gatorade. So that way we'll just drink massive amounts of
We'll flush
Gatorade
it right
and water.
out.
And no, we'll just save our own pee and then use that.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, that'll work. We'll get those fancy little bag things that you can put on your leg when you have to go take a piss test, and you know.
Yeah, there
Yeah.
you go.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's move on from this topic. This
I
is
got
starting to
the
make me
perfect thing to
uncomfortable.
transition to. This
All right,
great
let's
joke I heard at
transition.
work.
Okay.
So there's a cowboy and an Indian, right?
Oh, yep.
The cowboy, the Indian's lying on the ground. And he's got a heart on, and the cowboy comes up to him and says, "What are you doing?" And the Indian just replies, "He's oh, I'm telling time." And then the cowboy leaves, and he comes back, and the Indian's still there later on. And the cowboy says, "Yo, he's still telling time?" And he says, "Yep." So then the cowboy comes back around later on. This time the Indian's playing with himself. The cowboy says, "What are you doing?" The Indian says, "I'm winding the watch." Yeah, that's a classic work joke.
Classic, very nice. I can't repeat any of the things that the people at my office say because I'd probably get removed from any podcasting site that we try to host this on.
Nah. Freedom of speech
Yeah, well,
and the
But,
suppression.
it also makes me slightly uncomfortable when they open their mouths most of the time. So,
I've heard some of the things they've said, so yeah,
oh my god.
probably for the best.
Yeah. So, okay. Anyway, transitioning to more. Well, actually, you know what? If we're gonna go into the kind of weird, biggity type shit.
I'll bring it on. More the
okay,
better.
so-
Let's go.
So here's the thing. This has been in the news, and I think it's more recently today. And by the way, for people listening, we record on Tuesday. We're going to try to release on Tuesday. That's going to be a thing. We'll see how it goes because this is the second episode, so whatever. But anyway, North Carolina is getting sued by the Justice Department. Okay, not just like North Carolina, but like the state of North Carolina, the governor of North Carolina, the like all kinds of like people in North Carolina are getting sued by the Justice Department. And here's why. So, are you familiar with the bill? I think it's like HB2 or something like that.
Kind of, not really. As far as I know, they don't want transgender people, or I guess I don't even know if it's transgender. They just don't want people going in the bathrooms. If you're a boy, then you go to the boy. And the girls go to the girls, right?
Exactly. So now the basically it says you have to use the bathroom that is on your birth certificate, which has been the cause of a lot of controversy because you have like I think it's PayPal pulled out of North Carolina. They were originally going to set up shop there, and they left. There's been protests and all kinds of crazy shit going on, and it's estimated that I think Charlotte, North Carolina alone has lost over like $33 million in revenue just since the bill has passed, and that was only like a couple months ago. So essentially what happened was the governor, I believe, it's either the governor or the senator. It was a minute ago. Like, I basically read it this morning, so I'm not like fresh in my brain. But he was like, you know what, we're going to sue the Fed. Like, we're going to sue the government, essentially, like the U.S. government, even though they are the U.S. government. It's a little weird. But anyway, we're going to sue them because it's our right to pass this bill. Well, that got the Justice Department all fired up. And the head of the Justice Department, the woman that is like, you know, the head over there, she essentially fired back with, okay, you're going to sue us? Well, we're going to countersue you. And in fact, if you don't do what we ask, which, by the way, was to repeal the bill by Monday, not this past Monday, but like next Monday, then they're going to cut funding to everything. Meaning, like, they're going to pull all of, like, the what is it, like $6 billion or something like that the state is given for funding. So that means colleges, public transportation, like, all of this stuff is getting defunded if they don't pass this, or, like, revoke this bill.
Like, why does the government care that much, though?
Well, here's the thing. You're essentially setting people up to be like, you can discriminate, essentially. It's legal to discriminate against somebody. And now I know your stance on this.
Don't we need some laws, though, like regulating things?
Well, see, here's the thing. Here's what I took out of it, and here's like my thought process on it. Is first of all, people have been sharing bathrooms with transgender people, gay people, bi people, whatever, like any spectrum of that, you know, association.
Yeah.
Forever, but
yeah.
Nobody thought twice about it until it was brought to their attention. The second thing is like I said, you have professional models that are male models now, but were born female, and vice versa. You know what I mean? You have men and women that were born men and women, but like trans, they turn to the other sex, but look way more female and way more male.
Gotta be looking for that Adam's apple.
Well,
that's all I'm saying.
But here's the thing: there's like professional bodybuilders that were born female but look like Arnold Schwarzenegger. You're saying that you want somebody like that peeing next to your wife? You know what I mean? Like, and I'm not saying that in a bad way, but like,
it's. I mean, where does this all stem from? I mean, I know that something in the argument is, oh well, I don't want some pedophile getting in there with my daughter. You know,
right.
I don't know. You can't stop people from doing everything.
Well, and that's the thing is I've been around. I'm friends with transgender people. You know what I mean? Like, especially in Florida, we used to go to Hamburger Mary's, which is essentially like a trans-friendly cafe. Like, it's literally run by gay, bi, whatever, like trans people, and like the whole corporation is, if I'm not mistaken. And they had like trans night, and I've hung out with them, and we've talked and whatever. They're no different than you or me. You know what I mean? Like, they have no intentions of hurting a child. They have nothing like that. But it's blown out of proportion. Honestly, and I'm not like super conspiracy theory person over here. My opinion on the matter is that they're blowing this out of proportion to distract us from something. Whether that has to do with the presidential race and the fact that we have fucking two just virtually awful people running for office this year. And... like, you know what I'm saying? It's just coming out of nowhere.
I don't think it needs to be an issue. It certainly doesn't need to be an issue like it is. And
right.
There might be something to that, to trying to distract us. Because it is a distraction. It really doesn't matter. You know, like, when I hear that headline, I'm weirded out by, trans people. Like, I don't get it. Like, I do get it, but I don't. I'm not sure I'm necessarily in favor of it. But I guess you can do whatever you want because it's America.
Right, and see
So,
that's so.
yeah,
Sorry,
it's-
finish it. Finish your thought.
No, I don't know. It is what it is. I guess I don't
Right.
want to shit on them.
And see, and that's the thing, man. Like that's what really bothers me about a lot of it. And this is why, like, I have definitely maintained my friendship with you. Like, we definitely don't necessarily see eye to eye when it comes to like religion and things like that. But the good thing about it is, you see my perspective, I see your perspective, and there's a mutual agreement to respect each other's, opinions and things like that.
That's just being a decent human being. Like that's
Exactly.
all there is to it. Like I wouldn't be thrilled if I went to the bathroom and there's some trans person, a woman that's now a man that's sitting there next to the urinal. I'd feel uncomfortable if that happened, but I wouldn't
Right, but
get
would
upset
you
about
know?
it. I wouldn't like turn around and sue anybody. I wouldn't probably create a law against it.
right. Well, there's that, and plus, would you even know though? Like, unless you physically asked or like looked, because
No,
first
probably
of all,
not.
yeah, exactly. Like women, trans women don't, they can't stand up and pee, to my knowledge. You know what I mean? I'm not going to ask anybody because that
Brandon,
seems rude.
Let me tell you, at work, this girl, they've got this thing called a she-wee.
Oh,
And
that's
it's,
right.
It's
actually,
a little funnel that goes right on your thing, so you can stand and pee. So
that's
you
right.
never
I forgot
know.
about that. I forgot all about that. You're absolutely right.
Don't
Okay,
forget
well,
about the she-wee.
even assuming that though, if you were the one that looks to check and see if that person has a she-wee or whatever,
There's
then
probably
you were
something wrong with you.
exactly. Then you're the weirdo. You're the creep.
I guess. I mean, I'm uncomfortable with it. Like, I don't really. I'm a states' rights kind of guy, and if the majority of people in the state think that that's a good law to have and are okay with it, then if that's what they want to do, sure. And if they want to, cost themselves business, that's their problem. I don't think you need to cut funding from the national government, though. Like, that's just going to go and hurt the poor people. That's going to hurt people
Right.
that probably don't care, honestly.
Well, and more or less what I think it is, it's more or less kind of like a loaded gun. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of one of those things where it's like, okay, here's the deal. Like, you are not going anywhere with what we want you to do, and we're not going anywhere with what you want to do. So I'm going to trump whatever cards you think you have by saying
Yeah.
I'm going to pull all of your state's funding.
That's probably all it is, too. I mean, it's
Exactly.
just- there's
But-
nothing. I doubt anything will happen like that. I would hope not, because that'd be a crime, really.
Listen, I mean, it would, but I'll tell you what, man, if it does happen, then I will be buying real estate there real soon, because I don't care how fucked up it is politically there. If I could buy like 5 acres of land for like $10,000 because they're in such an economic crisis,
Yeah.
fuck it, I'm down
Cash
with
in.
that. That's what I'm saying.
Cha-ching!
I might be, pretty liberal-minded and everything, but I'm also an optimist, so suck
Hey,
it
there
in.
you go.
Or not an optimist. What's the word?
You're the guy that's going to cash in on someone else's
Right.
misfortune.
Yeah, more or less.
Yeah. There's a word, but I don't know the word.
Yeah,
Right
optimist
now,
isn't what I
anyway.
was looking for. Anyway, whatever. So anyway, transitioning into something else, because I'm tired of talking about politics and all this other crap.
Let's talk about Henry.
Henry, yes. We gotta do
Henry!
a Henry story.
Oh, the man, the myth, the legend. So I wanted to. I don't know if we were going to talk about this last time. We didn't, but a great Henry story.
Yes.
So Henry is addicted to Dr. Pepper. I think we went over that. He's
Mhm.
got the Dr. Pepper logo tattooed on himself. He had to go get a waiver sent from Dr. Pepper to himself, and he had to sign it saying he wasn't going to use it to make money or something like that. He had to sign a release form for his tattoo.
What?
Yeah. So that's a story in itself right there. He didn't think anything about it, and then somebody mentioned it to him, and he was like, "Oh, I need to," because it's a copyrighted image, and he had it tattooed on himself.
Right.
So he had to go sign a release. But so anyway, Henry loves Dr. Pepper. So there's a story where he'd go to, I don't know, whatever, name a southern food chain.
Bojangles.
He's going Bojangles. Is it really?
Yeah, Bojangles.
Okay.
It's a chicken place.
So Henry's going to Bojangles.
Louisiana
He's-
chicken.
They taking his order, and he doesn't need a glass. He says, "I'll take a whole pitcher of Dr. Pepper for himself." And I think that we'll upload a picture to go with this podcast. Maybe we'll use it for the YouTube picture. But there's a nice picture of Henry just downing a pitcher.
Nice.
So good old Henry.
Yeah, I don't think they use pitchers there, but either way, like a sit-down restaurant in the South, and he's chugging on a pitcher of Dr Pepper.
Yeah.
That's not healthy, man.
He's doing it big. Doing it big.
I guess if you want to die by the time you're 30 of diabetes or so. How does he not have diabetes, by the way? How is that not a thing?
Oh, he probably does. I mean, then again, your body gets used to things, and maybe I don't know.
But
It's
still,
amazing. He's in good shape. He's skinny. You know, I don't know. It's just I don't know. That's what ruined me. Is I drink like a liter of Mountain Dew a day, and
oh God.
then I got fat.
I was gonna say it's a miracle you even had a child.
I've heard that. Yeah, you know, whatever. I don't know. But yeah, I don't drink it anymore. I tried it probably a few months ago. Tried some Mountain Dew, and tastes like crap.
Yeah,
Hate
it's yeah. I've been slowly trying to like wean myself not off but on, ironically enough, of Mountain Dew Pitch Black because they brought that back, and I was like, it tastes like my childhood, but my liver is failing.
Yeah. I saw they had that Pitch Black and then the other kind. Like, oh, vote for the one you like best. I was like, whatever. Who cares?
Yeah, well, dude, fucking Pitch Black has like 91 milligrams of caffeine. It's almost an energy drink.
Nice.
It's insane.
Man,
like,
no wonder we were so crazy back then.
right? That's what I was saying. Because
I had no idea.
When
I guess
DB and I first saw it or whatever, like I was looking at it and I drank it, and I drank it pretty quick. And I mean, I have kind of a caffeine intolerance, not intolerance, but like I'm sensitive to caffeine or whatever. So I started to get really jittery and like, well, I am now anyway. But I started to get like real jittery and like plugged in feeling, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was like, God, what the hell? Like, what did I do? What did I drink? And I'm like going over everything. I was like, I haven't had any coffee today or whatever. And then I was like, I've really only had this soda and water. And then I look at this thing of 91 milligrams in one bottle of soda.
That's good.
And
That's good. Yeah.
A Red Bull has like 112.
Get that cash. Well, that's a 20 ounce, right? It's a 20-ounce bottle, I'm assuming is what you drink. And Red Bull's like...
12.
Is it 12?
Yeah,
they got like 8.4, I thought, for the little ones.
Well, no, they started making the flavored ones, the blueberry and stuff, which is the one that I drink.
Okay.
Yeah, they make those in 12s now.
Okay. So yeah, that's a decent amount of caffeine.
Yeah, for a soda. I think
it's not good,
Coke.
but
No, I think a
excellent.
Coke has like 30 to 50 or something like that. So it's literally that much more. But man, hey. So anyway, also, so weird Henry stories aside, going to drinks. I know that this is something that you're probably interested in. Budweiser is changing its name to America until the election, I believe. America. But what's funny is there's people that are like all in an uproar or whatever that like Budweiser is changing their name to America. Like there's literally like a half and half. Like some people are like, "Oh my God, yes," and then other people are like, "Why? This is dumb. Like this is so stupid. Why would you do this? Whatever." But like, okay, what is your opinion on this? Because I think it's pretty hilarious.
I'm at the. I think it's retarded. I think it's stupid, and I think it totally makes sense.
Yeah, right?
I for one, don't drink. It's Budweiser, right? I can't remember.
No,
yeah,
it's
I don't
Budweiser.
drink Budweiser. Like I'm not even sure I've ever drank it. Like I've had like a Coors once in my life, and I don't tend to like those beers at all. Like they taste like garbage.
Yeah.
Sorry if I offend anyone out there, but that's my opinion.
My opinion is Budweiser tastes like stale piss. But go ahead.
It's just they're not good. So like, but when I think of the stereotypical like person that drinks it, I just see them like, yeah, America. You know, they just so it's like, yeah, it makes total sense. So that's where I'm at with that.
Okay, so see, now I definitely agree with what you're saying because it's very much like the drink of choice down here for the rednecks, right? It's either that or some like weird nasty like Natty Light or something like that. But here's the funny thing, right? And a lot of people don't know this apparently, but Budweiser, Anheuser-Busch or whatever, the corporation, a couple of years ago was actually bought out by a Brazilian-Belgium company.
Was it? I know the Chinese own Jack Daniels, right?
Do they really?
Yeah.
I actually didn't know that.
Nothing's American anymore.
No, pretty much. But what's funny is that I was looking into it, right? And I think I don't think Yingling is even owned because it's like brewed in Pennsylvania or whatever, but it's not actually owned by like a Pennsylvanian person or whatever. Like you know what I mean? Like it's not affiliated with America anymore. If I'm not mistaken, the only alcoholic beverage, like beer wise, like that's mainstream that is owned, operated, and whatever else in America is PBR.
What about Amagang?
Hmm?
You drink? They have Amagang? No, I guess not. No Amagang down there.
Well, if it's a craft brew, then like
Well, it's a craft brew, but it's like pretty big. Like it's.
is it?
Yeah, I thought so anyway. I don't know.
I mean, it might be. I just haven't really seen it. Since I left Jacksonville, man, my palate for well, I wouldn't say my palate necessarily, but basically, it's harder to get craft beers here because the closest big city that would sell them is either Greenville or maybe even Asheville. But Asheville has
man.
like 7 breweries in it.
Bummer, dude.
Yeah, you know the Highland Brewing Company, right? Have you
No.
heard of Highland? Oh well,
No.
never mind. Highland is it's actually really good, but they're brewed out of Asheville,
Okay.
and it's ironic because the donut place that Mackenzie and I always go to when we
Yep,
go to
yep.
Asheville, it's literally right next door to the like brewing place where they brew the Highland stuff, but yeah, it's I don't know, man. It was just really funny when I was reading that. I was like, really, like, and it's nowhere else in the world. It's literally it will only be in America until the election. But
America.
I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah.
So
Best I can tell, Yingling is still owned by Yingling. It says the owner is Richard Yingling Jr.
really,
Yeah, supposedly. But
I
then I
didn't
go
really look
here,
into
they
it that
say
far.
he's okay. Yep, yeah, he's still alive. 77 years old. He's born in Pottsville, Pennsylvania, and he still lives there.
wow, holy shit,
Worth
Okay.
$1.99 billion.
wow, that doesn't surprise me at all. Actually,
That's great.
uh,
I like me some Yingling though.
I see. Doobie and I, when we first got our like apartment or whatever, and I was old enough to drink. And yes, people that are listening, I actually did pretty much wait until I was 21. I waited until Doobie was 21, but he turned 21 like 3 months before I did. So, because at the time, he was like, we were living together. He's one of my best friends. You can't let him drink alone on his birthday. You know what I'm saying? So I had to drink with him. But yeah, like that's all we would have in the house was Yingling, and it was
cheap
good.
beer.
Yeah, exactly. It was pretty like solid flavor and whatever else. Now that I'm older and I can afford nicer, expensive beer, I prefer that because it doesn't taste like watered down garbage. But anyway, so yeah, let's we'll cross that one off the list there, and let's see. Oh hey, the Radiohead song that you told me to listen to,
their
"Burn the
famous
Witch."
Radiohead song.
So you were telling me that there's a little bit of a controversy behind this. You want to get into that real quick?
Well, not necessarily controversy.
Well, not
it's
yeah,
just
but there's
everyone's
a
kind
lot
of
of
talking about it. Like,
Yeah,
what is the meaning of the video?
right.
Because before the video came out, Radiohead deleted their Twitter account, and you'll notice in the video that there's a blue bird in there,
Right.
and some other people have been taking some other like things from it. I guess they're at the end of the video. There's some guy hiding in the bushes. Oh, what else we got? There's a whole bunch of stuff here. Interpret the lyrics for the European migrant crisis, scapegoating the Muslims, mass surveillance threat to the public. There's a whole bunch of stuff that people are kind of just watching the video and come up with stuff on their own. Really,
Yeah.
I'm not sure the bands really came out and said anything about it, but it's such an interesting video.
Yeah, well, and it's funny because when I was watching it or whatever, I mean I went and I watched it the other day, and the song itself is fantastic. Like,
Oh yeah.
Like it was funny because like when you said that you weren't sure if there were any words because you were so like hypnotized by the video, I could totally see how that happens because I watched that entire video and did not even realize how long I had been watching it. Like that video is either at or over 4 minutes long, and I didn't feel like I was watching it for half that time. But not only
It
that,
sucks
like
you
you
in,
get so
like,
sucked into
it's
like
very
the
rare that
instrumentals
I
and
have
stuff
that
like
happen.
that. Yeah, it's exactly
Yeah.
well, and it's intense. But it's funny that you say that about the Twitter and stuff like that because really, like, recapping the video in my head while you're saying that, the bird comes on, and it's, tweeting and whatever, and anybody who hasn't watched it, you should totally watch it just because it's awesome. We'll post it up on the Facebook page, actually. Yeah, so basically, you have, like, the bird that's tweeting, and then you have what it looks like an auditor almost, or a guy that's, like, kind of, like, looking to see how everything is, you know what I mean?
Yeah, checking it out.
Yeah,
I got
exactly.
the guy was, like, looking to move there, potentially, but I guess I could see where you get an auditor from that as well.
Yeah, well, because he was kind of in a suit, and he was like, okay, let's see what this is. But what I found very interesting is when the more he started to be like, okay, this is weird, there's something weird going on here, that's whenever they present him with this giant, like, demon-esque, like, Trojan thing. And then they're like, go ahead, climb in it. And then they set him on fire inside of this thing. And then the bird comes up and it starts tweeting again. And it's crazy, like, to think that, it's crazy, like, the progression of the video and the progression of, like, the actual animation and everything itself. It's very kind of dark and fluid and mysterious, and it's with the music and everything going on, especially, like, I didn't, like, look up the lyrics at all, but
I ended up looking them up, and there's not many lyrics there, because I just had to look it up just to see if there was any, because I was sitting there, just like I said, I think I watched it 3 times in a row before I even, and then I was like, I can't remember, was there lyrics to this song? Like, I was just so caught up with the music and, like, the kind of, like, singing he is doing, but you can't, like, he's just so drawn out.
Yeah. Well, and there aren't even, like, a whole lot of words, if I remember correctly. Like, he might say, like, a paragraph, maybe, and, like, a short one. But, yeah, it was intense, though, man. Like, I definitely, it was really good. And I would totally, suggest it to anybody else that, first of all, if you're into that music, but even if you're not, like, try to give it a shot and just watch the video. Like, you don't even necessarily have to listen to the music, because the video itself tells a story that's hugely deep.
Oh, I got something for you right now.
All right, what's up?
What's trending? Phil Robertson, Duck Dynasty star, comments on transgender bathroom issue.
Of course he does. Let's go back to politics. You know what? Hold on.
Just because a man
I'm going to get another beer before we do this.
What? You going to grab a beer?
I can't handle the politics. Hold on.
Oh, he's got to go drink. Drink.
Okay, there we go. That was a very, very nice theme song, I'm sure.
Thank you.
I'll go back and listen to it.
It was very good. You'll be very pleasantly surprised. But anyway,
yes.
Back to the hard-hitting news. As Brandon takes a swig from the beverage.
It is a Warsteiner.
Warstein.
It's. I mean, you can probably read. It's a German beer. It's a premium German Pilsner.
Very nice.
It's actually really good. It's got some chocolate.
Made in the Deutschland?
Yeah, actually, it's a product of Germany. It says it right
there.
On
You go. Okay, got to channel my inner Southern man. Interesting fact. Not many people know this, I don't think, but Phil Robertson played with Super Bowl winning quarterback Terry Bradshaw.
Yep,
if I remember correctly, he was the starter there. I'll have to look this up.
Yeah, okay, so...
doesn't
go
matter.
ahead.
Anyway, they both played football together. At,
right.
I think it was Ole Miss. Kind of funny. But anyway, so Phil Robertson, just because a man may feel like a woman does not mean he should be able to use a bathroom with my daughter or yours. So it kind of echoes the whole thing.
Yeah.
But Then again, I hear that, and I can see where he would say that, though.
Man, I get it, but again, like, okay, in a women's bathroom, right?
It's a loophole, basically. It opens up this loophole for pedophiles.
Oh, but it doesn't, man. Listen,
but it does.
I'm sorry, but the reason that they don't allow pedophiles within, like, however many miles of the school, depending on what state that you live in, is because, not because, like, oh, we're worried about a pedophile, like, getting in and doing this thing. Like, pedophiles are opportunists, okay? They're not going to try to sexually assault you in a public bathroom where there's thousands of other people around. You know what I mean? Like...
They might, though.
Man, okay. I ranted about this a while ago on Facebook. And my thing for that is that, like, you know, and I'm not saying this is necessarily, like, the perfect argument or whatever, but this is, like...
I got it figured out. So go ahead. Well, I got it figured out.
Okay, really quick, basically. What it is that, you know, when I would go into the bathroom by myself when I was a kid, my mom would constantly be at the door. If I took more than, like, 2 minutes, my mom would be yelling my name at the door, like, hey, what are you doing? Hurry up. And then if I didn't respond, she'd be like, are you okay? Like, what's going on? You know what I mean? And I feel like as a parent, you're hyper vigilant for stuff like that, especially when it comes to public bathrooms. Because, like I said, this wasn't an issue beforehand. Like, the whole, oh, God, I'm worried somebody's going to assault me in a bathroom. Like, that's been around for a while. You know what I mean? That's a fear, especially being raised by women, you know what I mean? I constantly, like, as a grown man, I don't even go to sketchy bathrooms by myself. You know what I mean? I'll usually have somebody else with me, or I'll just piss in a bottle or something like that and throw it out the window. But, like, you know what I mean? There obviously I have alternatives. But that's what I'm saying, though. You know what I mean? Like, if you're in a women's restroom, you are none the wiser unless you're trying to look over the stall. And it's the same thing in a men's restroom. Like, if there's a woman that used to be a man, or not a woman, a man that used to be a woman in the stall next to you, you're not going to know unless you're trying to, like, listen to how they're shitting or taking a piss. And it's the same thing unless you're, like, trying to look at their junk. Like, hey, do you have a penis, or do you have one of those weird pee things we were talking about earlier? Like, that's all I'm saying, is that it just, it's unjust to say, like, oh, they're not allowed to be in here, but they were in there before you knew about it. You know what I mean? And nobody got touched.
Well, here's the thing. Though. It's simple, really. If you don't like it and you're worried about your daughter, then for 5 minutes you need to suck it up and consider yourself a woman, and just go right on in there with her.
Right. Well, and that's the other thing too, man.
Or
go ahead. Sorry, finish it.
Or we just get rid of all the signs at public restrooms, and we don't have a men or women. It's just restroom.
That one would probably enter more turmoil, I would think. But see, that's the other thing, too. Like, in Germany, actually, ironically enough, if I'm not mistaken, I think I watched a documentary about, like, they have, like, public bathhouses and public saunas and public, maybe even bathrooms that literally do not have sexes. So you can literally be sharing a sauna with a woman. You know what I mean? But... just to kind of wrap that part up, and then I think I've got a couple more things that I wanted to run by you. But one of the funniest things that I hear, especially down here, is, you know, like, given the opportunity, like, if you were to tell me all I had to do is wear a dress and go into the women's locker room to, like, you know, see a woman naked or whatever, I totally would have done it. My first thought every time somebody says that is, like, you're basically telling me that you are or were a sexual predator. Because who the fuck actually thinks like that? I'm sorry, but, like, when I was in high school, first of all, I was afraid of girls. I mean, I know I played it off like I was pretty good at it, but I was terrible. And, like, they frightened the shit out of me. Plus, there's boundaries, man. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not going to try to see you naked if you don't want me to see you naked, because that's against the rules. Like, that's nasty. That makes me a perv. But... I don't know, man. This whole controversy has just drummed up so much stupid bullshit, and it's driving me insane. I'm tired of hearing about it, but I guess until everything gets situated... Yeah, basically.
We need to be more worried about the labeling of our beer.
Exactly. Damn it. Alcohol. But, okay, so let's see. Let me check the time. We have been doing...
I want to talk about
something.
Well,
we've been on for about
We're at 48
48
minutes.
Yeah. I mean, listen, we can even run a little bit
Hey.
over because the last one wasn't that long, and I don't know.
It was short. We
That's
owe
right.
them. We owe them. We'll just talk about it.
All right.
A couple things.
Spit them for me.
Couple things. Battlefield 1. Did you see the trailer?
I haven't seen the trailer, but I do know the trailer for that, and I think it's what is it, Call of Duty or whatever. Call of
It's
Duty
great.
Infinite War has become the third disliked video on YouTube of all time. Yeah.
Out of everything. Yeah. All the videos on there. It's great. Everyone hates that, supposedly. But it's like that's how you really stick it to the man now. You dislike their
'cause
videos. Drag them down
are
in the
stupid.
mud. But Battlefield's been getting a lot of praise. Call of Duty's been basically getting nothing. So it's been interesting. But I was very excited. I miss the old historical shooters, World War
Right.
II ones. So at first I thought World War One. I was like, I don't know, But after watching the video, you get the clubs with the spikes on it. You're smacking people in the face with a trench tool. Biplanes, let's say Red Robin. That's not it. Not Red Rider either. The Red Baron.
Okay.
That's the one. That's the guy with the plane. Then you get the biplanes, the old tanks. Yeah, Lawrence of Arabia on horseback in India. It's gonna be cool.
That is pretty cool.
Very excited.
Yeah.
As a historical guy, it looked
See,
good
I'm
too.
totally for that. You know what I mean? Like, in my opinion, Call of Duty's kind of been washed up for a while anyway, and I know that's sacrilege for some people,
Yeah.
but like, when you come out with a game a year, you can't tell me that you have like an entire department that is like hyper focused on like story and all this other stuff. You know what I mean? The bottom line is they're just trying to come up with profit, and again,
Well, yeah. I mean, they have 3 studios, so you have 3 years to work on a game. I mean, that's really the only way you can do it, kind of fresh. But
right?
I don't know. Well, they keep pushing. I wish they would mix in like a historical shooter one year, a futuristic shooter the next year, then a modern day, then back to historical. Some type of a rotation like that where you can kind of mix it up and not get future
Right.
every
Well,
year.
it's what is it? Call of Duty Black Ops 3 or whatever that introduced like magic and weird shit into that.
I don't know. I haven't played one since Black Ops. No, I played Ghost. Hated that. Black Ops 2 I liked.
Well, and with Black Ops 3, I think it's Black Ops 3, but I played the Zombies version because Zombies is really the only thing that I enjoyed in like the Call of Duty franchise. But I played Zombies on Call of Duty Black Ops 3. I think it's 3. But anyway, it was awful. Like the worst Zombies experience I've ever had. It was so overly complicated and like the maps were so gigantic that like it almost made it just too hard. And I mean, I'm not good.
Well, they started off with like just. So that's what was so great about it. It was simple. You just stand at the window, repair the window when the zombies knock it down, and shoot the zombies, and then the round's over. And then it was simple. And then they added dogs, and the dogs kind of made it cool. And
Well, dude, I even
I don't
liked
know.
Advanced Warfare Zombies. Like, I thought that was pretty cool because, well,
I never
you had
played
like
that,
okay,
so
you had the
you'll have to
exosuit, all right. So I think it's Advanced Warfare, but anyway,
Yep.
you had the exosuit and you like could shoot up and around, and essentially it was kind of like a double jump. Like you could jump regularly, and then you could push a button to like, have right exactly like these little
Kinda cool
rockets.
again.
Kind of, yeah. Like these
Like
little rockets
jetpack
on your
or
exosuit
something.
would like boost you up. Well, you know how you had like Juggernog and stuff like that in the old ones? Well, you could get upgrades for your exosuit.
Yeah.
So you could do like a ground pound, for instance. So you could
Okay.
double jump and then shoot back down and like punch the ground, and it would like, fuck up everything around you. But it made it very, very interesting. But the cool thing is that some of the zombies also had exosuits. But instead of them, kind of flying around all over the place, what it was is they would be like EMP bursts because they were malfunctioning. So that would actually disable
cool.
your exosuit. So any boosts that you had at the time would be temporarily like paralyzed, for lack of a better word. So, if you had like the ground pound thing or like even the double jump and stuff like that, like you couldn't use that until the suit rebooted itself, which only took a few seconds, but still it was really, really cool. Right, exactly.
like a recharge
But
time,
it
so-
added that kind of complexity. But then
That's
you know,
cool.
kind of being able to jump around, it made like farming enemies kind of a little bit easier, which was a little bit cheesy. But I'm into shit like that. You know, running around in a circle and gathering up all of the zombies and then literally shooting one rocket that destroys like half of them.
Well, that was the only way to do it, really.
Yeah. Well, exactly, and it's
If you wanted to make it far, you had to kind of game the system a little bit. But I almost feel like that was part of the game.
right. Yeah. So anyway, like that's where like the zombies is where I kind of left it, and then even Doobie is like a hardcore Call of Duty fan. Like he's got I think every Call of Duty that has come out, with the exception of I think Black Ops 3. But he saw that trailer and he was like, "So it's Call of Duty Halo? Fuck that game!" Like literally verbatim what he said.
Like I don't know. And then they're doing this really shitty thing now where they're remaking
Call of Duty 4. Yep.
Call of Duty 4. Yeah, but the only way you get it is by buying. I think you have to buy like the deluxe edition of the game.
90.
I think it's $80. You can't just buy it separately. And then people are thinking, oh, well, I'll just buy a code off somebody off of the internet. But you can't do that either because the only way to do that is by having the game disc. So they're forcing you to do that.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like what
Which
was
is-
it? iTunes, Apple's shitty thing where they were like, "Hey, here's this U2 album that you totally didn't ask for." The only difference is that you're essentially buying a deluxe edition for a game that you didn't ask for to get a game that you actually want. But so
Yeah, you know. I don't know. I
Yeah,
get why
it's
they're
money,
doing
man.
it. and
That's
it's
all it
just-
is.
It's a clever scheme. I just hope that I don't know. They can do whatever they want. It just seems like
Yeah.
everyone dislikes it, but everyone disliked Black Ops 2. Like that's what the guy representative of whatever Activision or whoever was saying. Oh, well, Black Ops 2 was the most disliked video of whenever, and that's the best-selling Call of Duty game we've had. So who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe the game will sell like hotcakes.
I don't know.
It remains to be seen, but I think I like Battlefield. At this point, I'm going to buy Battlefield. That's where my money's going to go because I'm ready. I'm ready to strap on my gas mask and go into the trenches. And
Oh, I mean, I do miss
be
the
great.
historical shooters. Like those are definitely, in my opinion, more fun than some made up like weird like, "Hey, this is the future." Because in my opinion, what?
Uh-oh. We had a little lag.
Oh, okay.
A little lag. I thought I lost
There's a
you.
little bit of lag back
But
and
you're
forth.
here.
I think just only recently. I think it's because we're approaching the hour mark.
Oh, man.
But so anyway, okay.
Ah.
Going on to something else, and it kind of has to do with kind of pop culture type stuff. I wanted to say, and I know you're probably maybe not a huge fan of the X-Men movies and stuff, but one of the things that I noticed that I thought was kind of funny was the top critics. So like New York Times, LA Times, whatever, like top newspapers, stuff like that. They have currently given X-Men Apocalypse 22% for the pre-screens. Yeah, 22% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Nice.
Now, I'm not saying that like the critics like are law in that sense. You know what I mean? Like it's not like everything that they say is gold. But at the same time, when people that are paid to watch movies for a living give your movie 22%, and Batman versus Superman I think has like 28% or something like that. Last I checked. Nah.
Isn't that good?
Actually, I don't even know if it has. Maybe Batman vs Superman has a little bit more than that. But yeah, 22%. That's not good for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Even though I don't think X-Men is actually owned by the Marvel Universe. I'm pretty sure it's owned by like Fox or something like that.
No? Oh. I don't
It's
know how
all
any of that
kind of
stuff
ridiculous.
works.
I'm pretty sure that they brought on Marvel to actually like help them out with this movie, but obviously it didn't really work very well. But I see how excited you are about that news. So my question to you is, have you seen Deadpool? That came out today.
No. I basically don't watch any superhero movies like at all. The last movie I watched was I've actually watched it twice now. Is Look Who's Back.
Yeah.
It's the Hitler movie. It's a satirical movie. So that one I've watched that twice, but really we don't watch many movies. But I'd be curious about Deadpool, but the same hand. Usually when I watch movies, I watch it with Emily. So anything that's too over the
Yeah,
top
she
with
totally wouldn't like
gore
it. There's
or,
like
anything else.
burned up, shriveled penis in it too, but. Well, like Deadpool,
Burned up,
Ryan
shriveled
Reynolds'
penis.
character or
That's
whatever, he essentially gets like spoilers.
I heard there's a full frontal.
Yeah. Well, and that's
full
it's
frontal,
that's the
yeah.
only time I think that I remember seeing it. But essentially, he gets burned alive, and of course he's Deadpool, so he regenerates. But he gets burned alive, so you literally
Wow.
see his like penis just getting burnt to a crisp. Yeah.
So Deadpool regenerates,
Dude,
Is
you-
that like
okay,
his
so
power thing?
I
I literally know nothing about superhero movies. Like the only experience I have with Deadpool is watching my nephew play
if you
it.
go based off of like the comics and stuff like that, and I'll just do like a real quick Cliff Notes version. His regenerative powers are better than Wolverine's, so he can actually regenerate entire limbs and stuff like that. In fact, again, basically,
Huh.
yeah.
He's like Piccolo.
Excuse me. Except for he can actually also, if I remember correctly, regenerate within like an atom. So if like multiple atoms of his kind of collide together in space, he can slowly start to form himself back together. Like he's like crazy, like can't die essentially. Like he can cease existing, but I don't think he can technically die because again, once his atoms all form. Well, and that's the thing. Like he
How
can
does that
stop
work?
existing in the sense that like his atoms are spread out like all over the place, but as soon as some of them start to like find their way back to each other and collide, then it essentially slowly starts that whatever. It regenerates him, based off of that. So it's pretty cool.
Uh-huh.
But okay, so let's see. We
Okay.
got rid of that one. Oh, the song that I had mentioned in the last one, my song.
Yeah, your song. Great song.
Yes.
I want more of it. Now here's a question though. It was like song number 12 or song number 14 or whatever it was. Is that like
Oh.
on the album or is that like
That is
total-
actually
What does that mean?
Quote
What's
from
the
Mitch
deal?
Hedberg. Mitch Hedberg is a comedian. He's got a
Who's
very
Mitch
dry kind of wit sense of humor.
Ah.
But yeah, he basically tells the audience like to fuck off and they're not clapping enough and whatever else, and then he kind of chuckles. And he's like, nah, I'm just kidding, whatever. And he's like, that track is number 14, and it's called Attitude. So I figured it would be appropriate to, try to incorporate that. But let me see
Yeah.
real quick. I have
Gotcha.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That makes 11. 11 fully completed songs of varying genres and whatever else, experimental and stuff. Well,
Yes.
here's the
So
thing.
when is it coming out?
Since that recording turned out as well as it did, I'm actually going to try to kind of redo some of them. Not like entirely, but basically like some of the guitar parts in certain songs just didn't come out as well as I had hoped they would. And seems how I'm starting to get like a full
Okay.
grip of like how to actually record and do stuff like that, especially because this new guitar that I have sounds just freakishly amazing. Yeah, I'm
Amazing.
going to try to redo some of the guitar parts and stuff, and maybe even the vocals, because, again, some of those songs I had recorded, like, 2 years ago. And, again, even my vocals have kind of come a little bit further in that short period of time. But yeah, so I'm hoping that
Nice.
I'll actually have kind of, like, a... more or less like a build-your-own type of thing, and I had a really clever name for it, kind of planned out, so that way, like, if somebody did want to order it or whatever... that essentially you tell me what songs you want, and then I like in the order that you want them, and then I would make a CD and then ship it off and whatever. Well, and that's I
Cool.
figure I
That's a
don't
good
necessarily write things in like a typical album format, which really seems to be the case anymore with pop culture in general. But like my brain doesn't really think long term with music. It's very much like this song. And I have this song and then that song and whatever, and they might correlate like lyrically, but as far as like the music goes, it's not really they don't transition well into each other. You know what I mean? So it's song based, but but yeah. Anyway, that was more or less my idea, is to kind of get a bunch of songs. Yeah, and then if you like
Well, that's a good idea.
this one, that one, and the other one, well, hey, I want those 8 songs in this order on a CD.
So with the old songs, cause I know I've been harping on this for forever now, but like I want like, In Closing and some of the old ones. Like, would I be able to get them on a CD,
actually,
or is it strictly just
Jonathan
new stuff?
Ertzberger, I don't know if you've noticed, but he's been commenting on some of my stuff lately about the music. He is the drummer of A Fifth Wind, my old band. So I'm thinking, because I'm actually still talking with Russell, the bassist, too. And I don't want to like call anybody out or anything like that, but from my understanding is that like those were the two that were in the band that were kind of cool with me, and then the other two weren't necessarily cool with me. Mm-hmm. So since I know how to play the guitar parts and everything, I might see if they want to hop on and just re-record all of the original stuff with me. And that's I'm gonna
That'd be awesome,
we'll see where it goes. But Jonathan actually had just said that he has like a 5 mic setup for his drums. And I don't necessarily have the ability to record that many. I mean, I could, but it would be like painstaking because we'd have to do it one at a time, and that would just take forever for drums. But yeah, I mean, I think it would still be great to even because now that I have a lot of extra money, not a lot, but side note, my car is getting paid off next week, like this coming Friday. Brittany is helping me with the last chunk of it. So oh god, dude, she's a godsend.
Thank you, Brittany.
Anyway, so she's helping me pay off that last big chunk. And I wouldn't even be opposed to like maybe saving up like $100 or so, a couple $100, whatever it would cost to go into a studio and just record the drums. You know what I mean? Like, because I can record the bass, the guitar, the vocals, and everything else at home, and then literally take it to a studio to record the drums, and then have him play the drums.
That'd be cool.
Well, and that's what I'm pushing for. But again, I don't want to like be too forward about it. You know what I mean? Because this is something that I've been thinking about for a while, pretty much since I moved back here. Is that I really wanted to get back and jam with those guys. Because honestly, as far as like creative momentum, like that's the only guys that I've ever jammed with and played with where I felt like truly we moved in a forward direction. You know what I mean? Personally.
Yeah. It's not easy to just get people together and like try to play something. You gotta have that chemistry where you can click and like move forward and throw something, and then they'll be able to pick up on it and expand it. It's not easy to write music
yourself,
at all.
You know what I mean? Like that song that I just released took me like 3 months to maybe fully write. And don't get me wrong, it was 3 months of like intensive. Like I'd get like a hair up my ass, and then I'd be like, hell yeah, I'm gonna do this, and then I'd pound out a good section of it. But really, like, once it's one of those things where it's like it peaks for me. So like I'll get that initial kind of spark, and then it'll go up like a rocket, and then for 3 hours, that is the only thing that I can do and focus on. But then as soon as I hit that wall, man, it's done. It's over. I have to wait another couple weeks.
Boop, done. And then your creative wait. And I remember I used to carry like a notepad around or my cell phone. I just make notes in there and be like, oh, here you go, throw this down and write that.
Exactly.
Because if you didn't, it'd just be
I used to have that actually on my old phone. I should really start doing it again because I came up with a lot of good stuff. Actually, Rainy Days. I know that you've heard that one a couple times, right? Yeah. That one I wrote at work one day because I was remembering a bunch of like bullshit with one of my ex-girlfriends. And I was just not in a good mood. It was raining outside. It was miserable. Nobody had come. That was when I was working at Sawgrass and I was a cook. So it was miserable. Nobody came in that day. I was basically by myself. It was just awful. So all of this nasty shit came into my head, and then finally I was like, all right, boom, wrote it down, and I ended up recording it. Yeah, exactly. I ended up recording it like a couple nights later.
Coming out.
Nice.
And sometimes you can just throw stuff out and like, I don't know if you ever done a whole song. Like, I mean, I know yours is a little more complicated than mine, but like I've just came up with songs in 30 minutes, dude. And you basically got the bulk of it there. Like I don't do the drums.
You remember
I'm sure
It's a
you
Beautiful
the
Day?
Same way.
Did you listen to the YouTube version that I had up or whatever? It's only like.
I'm not sure if I did. I probably did. I think I've listened to just about everything at least once.
It's only like a little under 2 minutes long. It's like 1:30, 1:40 or something. It's not long at all. But I literally sat down I was okay. So the backstory
Yeah.
to that song is I got pissed off at myself for kind of moping around and like, oh, I have nothing to do and it's a great day outside, but woe is me and whatever else. And I got pissed off at myself for even saying that because it's like, I'm the only thing keeping me away from doing something. And so I literally sat down and wrote that entire song. And I could probably
Yeah.
spout out the lyrics in a second, but it's let's see, it starts off with it's a beautiful day outside, so get the fuck up and live your life. You're a pathetic waste of failure. Stop your whining and fucking crying. You're the only reason your life is less than perfect. And then it's something along the lines of you spend your time inside waiting to die, and still you wonder why no one gives a fuck. And then the second verse part is it was a beautiful day outside. The sun is setting on your life. It was a beautiful day outside. The sun is setting on your life. Whatever. Basically, like, you're pathetic, crawl back in your hole and die is how it ends. And I literally wrote that song about myself
Nice.
because I was so pissed off at myself that I was kind of feeling sorry for myself that I didn't have anything to do when you could literally just go outside and do anything. You know what I mean? So I wrote that entire song.
It's like you're healthy.
Exactly.
You got nothing
Exactly.
wrong.
So,
you're just moping. Just
I
get
sat
up.
down and wrote that entire song in like
That's great.
10 hours. Like, from start to finish, all of the instruments and everything. And again, it's only like a minute and
Nice.
30 minute, 40, whatever seconds long. But exactly. And that's
Hey,
what it was. And,
song's
and
a
it's
song.
still like, when I listen to it, it's one of those things where like, I'll even play it for myself when I'm feeling like that. You know what I mean? Because it just reminds me like, I've been here before. I need to not do this. Yeah,
just
exactly.
Pick yourself.
Okay,
up and,
so,
go.
Let's see. Do you have anything else
There you go.
on the list, man?
Real quick, I just saw that UFC is
Really?
possibly getting sold today.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah,
Are we
you wanna
talking about
throw
the
a
trills or
number
the
out?
bills? Like trillions or billions? Okay.
Just bills. Just bills.
$136 billion.
No,
Really?
You're way
UFC.
overshot this.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, this is kind of what this is why I thought too. I thought, well, that seems kind of
Okay,
low.
we'll go with
Hey, throw another
30
number
billion.
out. Go for it.
Really? Holy shit.
No, wait, too high. I feel like I'm on Price is
That's-
Right and like
one more. Okay. $8
yeah.
billion.
Try again.
No, I said eight,
No,
eight.
no. 80. No. Four.
That's it?
Oh, eight. No, $4 billion. That's it. That's what I thought. I was like, man, Minecraft sold for $2.5 billion, a video game, and yet you've got this like sports franchise like that's doing great,
Okay.
and only $4 billion. It could be. They say the winning bid is expected to be between $3.5 and $4 billion, and it's Chinese media capital is supposedly the ones that are gonna buy it. So the Chinese again buying up our stuff, but yeah. They're saying here in the article that the owners, Lorenzo and Frank for something or other, Feridia? I don't know. But they bought 80% stake in the company for $2 million in 2001. So they're turning $2 million into $4 billion.
I mean, yeah, that's great, but still.
That's
okay,
not too
let me
bad
put
an
it to you this
investment.
way. Google bought YouTube in 2006, okay, 10 years ago, which was actually quite a long time as far as money standards go. They bought YouTube for $1.65 billion, okay? Now, I know that's less, but if you kind of, like, do adjustments for, like, inflation and stuff, and even though it might not be that much, that's probably still on par with, like, that number, like $3.5 billion. So, that's
I agree.
insane.
I think it's low. That $4 billion seems low for everything. Like I can't even imagine how much the NFL is worth. I think the Dallas Cowboys are worth $1 billion on their own. So I don't know. I figured it'd be worth a lot more, but I guess maybe not yet.
Huh. Hold on.
But
I'm curious.
I think
real
I'm all
quick.
out.
Yeah,
Hold on.
I just got a
We're
little bit
hanging
of
out.
lag too. I don't know if I'm going to necessarily be able to. Wow, that's crazy. Okay. So according to this, which was published back, can you hear me? Like, is the lag good? Okay. So according to Forbes, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
Back
Yeah, we're
in
good.
June of 2013, the NFL Network was worth about $5 billion. I feel like it's way higher than that. Because wasn't there a company or something like that?
That's just the NFL Network.
Well,
though.
true.
That's not the NFL as a
Um,
whole.
Hold on, let me just NFL net worth. About 15 billion. That still seems really low to me. Hold on. Roughly 1/3 of the entire. Oh, hold up, sorry. Leading the pack. Yeah.
Dallas
So
Cowboys
it
net
looks
worth
like
is $4 billion.
net worth collective. Okay, I don't really know because I'm getting like a bunch of different numbers here. But like 33 billion. Anyway, I swear to God, there was like a company or something that was just bought for like hundreds of billions of dollars. Not hundreds, but like 100 and something $1 billion. I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, so all right, let me knock out my last two things real quick, and then I actually probably got to get going to bed because it's getting close to my bedtime. So first thing is thrown up on.
Nice.
I got thrown up on. It was pretty hilarious. Not really, but you know. So I pretty much got thrust into
Nice.
parenthood pretty quickly this past weekend. So it's like
I figured you might. It sounded like
it's
it.
in the morning, right? And I have breakfast ready and whatever else. So after we eat breakfast, Lainey starts complaining that she does not feel well. And we're like, okay, sweetie, like, you know, go lay down. You know, we'll be up to check on you in a little bit. So we're starting to get ready for our day, and we have to go over to Brittany's dad's house to help him with some cleaning and stuff like that. And Brittany is in the bathroom. Well, Lainey, once again, has, like, her clothes on for the day and whatever else. She's like, I don't feel good. Well, I'm in the bedroom, and, you know, I don't know exactly what I'm doing. I'm cleaning something or fixing something or whatever. And I start to say, like, okay, sweetie, we'll try to get you something for your tummy ache or whatever. And all of a sudden I hear her start throwing up. Like, you know, that really sickening, like, gag noise? Well, that starts happening. And so
Yep.
I just immediately, I'm like, oh shit, I run and grab a towel. And I try to, like, you know, kind of catch this vomit. Because we don't have, like, a trash can or anything, like, upstairs, only in the bathroom. But Brittany's peeing or whatever. And so I'm, like, trying to catch her puke in a towel. And then since she's like 5 and little, she's like throwing up a lot, and then she gets kind of weak and starts to like not faint, but like, you know, just her body like I don't know, stops a little bit. So essentially her face goes into the towel of puke. And so her face is all covered in puke, and it's all over the place, and it's on my feet and whatever else. And so finally I'm like yelling into the bathroom. I'm like, babe, you need to like hurry the fuck up right now because we have a sick child out here. And so, you know, she
Help!
quickly like flushes the toilet, opens the door, whatever else, and then poor kid starts puking into the toilet. So I like have to like essentially we have these essential oil things, and they're supposed to be good for allergies, but it's like lavender and lemon oil and all this other stuff. They're
Yeah.
really potent and give you like really bad like acid reflux type stuff. But anyway, I pop one of those things and I stir it in a cup of hot water so she can gargle it and you know, get the nasty taste out of her mouth. But after that, she was fine for the rest of the day, like totally running around like a crazy person. So I'm assuming it was probably something with
that's good.
breakfast, like
Huh.
the milk that she had in her cereal. Yeah, well, and I think what it was is the
Didn't
milk
sit well
in her
with her.
cereal, it wasn't expired, but it wasn't like brand new fresh milk. You know what I mean? It was like, yeah, and since she's 5, I'm sure
Yeah, I
her
gotcha.
little tummy couldn't handle that. Plus, you know, she had orange juice with it, so you know the acidity of that mixed with everything else, I'm sure that probably had a lot to do with it. But anyway, that was a fun little introduction
sure.
to parenting. But last thing, and I'm gonna actually
There you
throw
go.
you out with a suggestion here. So one of my guys that I am subscribed to on YouTube is Smooth McGroove, and yeah, he's an acapella guy. He does it all by himself.
Smooth
He's got a
McGroove.
wicked falsetto, but he covers like video game tunes and stuff like that. And I'd say that he's probably pretty popular. Like his videos have anywhere from a couple 100,000 to like maybe like like lower millions, like 1 million, 2 million views, depending on how popular the video game is. But the one that turned me onto him was Traverse Town, which is from Kingdom Hearts. So if you want to check that one out, that's totally cool. But if not, he's got like
Uh-huh.
everything from Legend of Zelda to I think he's got like a Skyrim one.
I see that. I got his page open right now.
Yeah, so
I'll
definitely check those
probably,
out, and then maybe
check
the
a
next
couple of these out.
podcast we'll see how you like it and whatever else. But yeah, man, that's all I got, and we definitely went over a little bit on that one, but I think that's right. Your money's worth. All
Got
$3
their money's
that
worth
you
this
spent.
week.
But
Well,
I am Brandon.
I guess I'm Mike.
That's right. We'll sign off this time,
Thanks
and
for
stick
listening.
around next week. We'll find some more asinine things to talk about. Bye.
Alrighty. Bye.